John Driscoll Hopkins of the Zac Brown Band, bringing the national anthem here tonight. He was diagnosed in 2021 with ALS, and he is here to help spread the word and awareness to fight ALS. Hop on a Cure Foundation. We visited with Hop before. We'll do so again during the game tonight because this is the 6th annual Lou Gehrig Day across Major League Baseball. Certainly honoring one of the best players the game has ever seen in the Iron Horse, that streak of 2,130 consecutive games. But the disease is often named as well for him because he was the one in 1941 that kind of shocked the nation when he passed away from complications of ALS. You see his career numbers, one of the greats of all time, and his legacy is celebrated and honored across Major League Baseball.
For 2,130 games, he was the heartbeat of the Yankees, the captain, the Iron Horse, a glowing symbol of unshakable strength and resolve.
Lou, I want to congratulate you on your wonderful career without missing a game.
But in 1939, Lou Gehrig announced he was facing his toughest opponent. ALS took his career and eventually his life, but it could never touch his spirit.
I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for.
Today, Gehrig's legacy lives on in every stadium, in every player, and every broadcast booth, as Major League Baseball stands shoulder to shoulder with the ALS community.
It's unbelievable what the impact of that disease has had on so many people.
Raising funds for research, supporting families, and searching for the cure that ends this disease forever. Today, we play for number 4. Today, we play for the cure. And until the final out is made against ALS, we will never stop fighting.
On this Lou Gehrig Day, join the Reds in the fight against ALS. Visit MLBtogether.com/4ALS to bid on the Reds commemorative bat signed by Eugenio Suarez. Join the fight against ALS today.
That swordfish.
Cincinnati Reds baseball is presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare and the Young Family Cancer Center, a regional leader in cancer care. By your Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. For all Toyota offers, go to Toyota.com. By O'Connor, Achani, and Levy, attorneys you know, attorneys you trust. By Gilkey Windows. Elevate your home with the elegance and durability of Gilkey Windows. Explore more at Gilkey.com. And by Bet365, where winning is everything. A small change for the Reds today. J.J. Bleday is in the lineup, but he's the DH, so Spencer Steer gets a turn in left field. That's a tough Sun field at the game start. Part of the defense backing up an all-star a year ago, back to form of late, Andrew Abbott.
Yeah, he's been really good as of late. Last time out, he threw 101 pitches. By the way, happy belated birthday. Yesterday was his 27th birthday. Not getting a chance to pitch on his birthday, but having an opportunity today.
His 13th start of the campaign, faces Lane Thomas. First pitch popped foul. Well, we're underway. Thomas had the big shot yesterday for the Royals in the opening inning. Grand slam, first of his 3 hits. He fell a triple shy of the cycle. His grand slam came first pitch and plated 3 gifted base runners, a walk, a hit batter, and a walk. Royals entered fairly dormant offensively with many of their names. Thomas is among those showing signs of turning a corner. 1-1 from Abbott. Dives down and in. His last 6 games hitting .316, half his hits in that time going for extra bases. Asterisk, a lot of that came yesterday. Giant bubbles being popped by Eugenio Suarez at third. This one is bounced to short. To his left, McLean from the outfield green. He got him. Full 9 for the Royals, who snapped a 6-game slide yesterday. Their best stands in now with Bobby Witt Jr. Future Hall of Famer Sal Perez will follow, the 9-time All-Star making his series debut. Marte, Pasquantino, Lofton, Caglione, Tolbert, and Massey. Matt Quattro's team enters in 4th place, 10.5 out in the American League Central. Reds have lost 4 of 5. They are in last place in the National League Central despite a winning record. And what a difference a division makes. The Royals are 14 games under and they're in 4th. The Reds are a game over 500 and they're in last. But the distance between the Reds and many of their near peers, particularly for the wild card, is far thinner than that of the Royals. 2-0 to Bobby Witt Jr. Misses away. Witt showed his skill yesterday, Lark. A double. Had a hard line drive out. Also got hit by a pitch, intentionally walked. Got on 3 times, scored twice. Works a walk here on 4. What do you see in the Reds defense?
Well, Matt McLean once again at shortstop. He was tested on that first one, and Edwin Arroyo sporting some highlighters out there at second base. I think this is what you're going to see. These two guys, I'm assuming they're going to switch every once in a while. Matt's going to probably man most at shortstop.
Salvador Perez first pitch hunting. Tough sun ball for Dane Myers. Used his glove to shield that sun and secure the second out.
Isn't it crazy how I just went to the shortstop second base comp? Yeah. Everybody else just to play.
Well, you mentioned, though, the highlighters of Edwin Arroyo, and you're talking about his cleats. I think you can detect them from low Earth orbit. They're popping, man. I like it.
They are.
I love the moment that you two shared after the game, as Starling Marte stands in, where he referenced the exact turn of phrase that you brought up on the air.
He told me, he said, don't come visit me here. I'm going to come up there and visit you. And he reminded me of that's what he said. Yes, I did. Here I am. It was great.
Marte, a 2-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glover. Abbott gets a weak foul on a breaking ball. Marte broke into the bigs with the Pirates in 2012. Bulk of his career coming with the Buccos, and since he's volleyed significantly. Abbott checks on Witt, who can run. So could Marte at the plate. He's not doing it this year, but on his career he certainly has. Since he left Pittsburgh after 19, he's been a Diamondback, a Marlin, an A, was a Met for a long time, and is in year 1 with the Royals. Witt goes, good jump, pitch up and away, and no chance for Stevenson to make a throw. Between that jump and the way that pitch tailed, it paralyzed the catcher.
Yeah, really no chance right here. You got to catch that ball out in front. You can see Steve-O, no chance. Don't even make a throw.
And this ball lifted. Myers, deep center. Warning track. 1-out walk to Witt, and that's all for Abbott. Top of the order for the Redlegs. Dane Myers gets a chance to lead off again. Bleday, the DH, and Sal Stewart adding third.
So I hammered the rudder.
Reds 9 from St. Elizabeth Healthcare. Dane Myers leads off. 8th time this year he's been the leadoff man. He's been on base safely in all but 1 of his prior 7 starts in that spot. Bleday, Stewart, Suarez, Spencer Steer on base in a career-high 20 straight. Stevenson, Dunn moved down in the order a bit tonight. Arroyo and McLean. They face a talented arm who made major noise as a rookie last year. He's not been nearly as clean in his sophomore campaign. It's Noah Cameron.
Yeah, Noah Cameron, this sophomore, campaign. He's on a 3-game losing streak. We need to extend that to 4.
Look out. First base umpire Corey Blazer ducks down.
Has not had much run support behind him this year. Just 6-pitch pitcher. Saw the 4-seam fastball. He'll back that up with the change, cutter, curve, slider, and he'll sink that fastball as well.
He was born in St. Louis but grew up in Greater Kansas City. A lifelong Royals fan. Went to Central High School in St. Joseph, Missouri, about an hour north of Kauffman Stadium. Lofted from third, Myers hustling hard, but he grounds out 5-3. Now last year, Noah Cameron in 24 starts was 9-7. He had a 2.99 ERA. He finished 4th in American League Rookie of the Year voting, won by the A's Nick Kurtz. His first 5 starts last year were quality. That includes one against the Reds. J.J. Bleday down and away. Bleday homered yesterday, also walked. He's had an extra base hit in 4 straight games. Reds saw him just about exactly a year ago. Bleday lifts one foul. It was May the 28th in Kansas City. The only Royals win on that series, when Cameron yielded 1 run on 6 hits, all singles in 6 1/3. The Reds lost 3-2. Bleday pounds it on the ground to Pasquantino at first. Oh, 2 down. Kansas City's defense, 4th fewest errors in the majors. They did make 2 in a couple of games their last series against Texas. They rate best up the middle with Witt Jr. and Massey. They have not played Michael Garcia since he suffered a right hamstring strain, very similar to the Reds' Elly De La Cruz. He did not hit the IL. He did do some running and catching drills on the field, but has not played in a game since his injury on Saturday. Sal Stewart, weak number to third. Lofton lets it roll, goes foul. Something I find interesting this first inning, Lark, it can be a tough sun field and left. Well, Tyler Tolbert so far this inning with most hitters has tried to almost straddle sun and shadow. Now here, after that first pitch foul, he's setting up more in the sunshine, but he's almost trying to find a Goldilocks spot where there's no sun. But I think earlier he was so shallow, easily a hit could go over his head.
Yeah, I don't think there's any place out there where you can hide from that sun and have a chance to make a play defensively.
Stewart fouls it away. Now Cameron this year still limits homers fairly well. He has not allowed one in now 34 1/3 consecutive innings. The 5 homers he surrendered came in a 2-start span weeks ago, and 3 were launched by the New York Yankees. After a strong start at the beginning of that outing, he got roughed up later. He just rematched with the Yankees though on Wednesday and pitched well. 2 runs, 5 innings. Stewart co-leads this Reds team with 12 homers, and a big swing just grazes that pitch and clipped Salvador Perez on that backswing. Perez, a star, 9-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glover, and Silver Slugger. Up and away, curveball got away. Stewart tends to do most of his damage on heaters. Cameron likes to cut that fastball in on righties, use that breaking ball back door. There's the curveball that's swung through, strike 3. 1-2-3 first. Here is tonight's Liberty Mutual Insurance field coverage. In the month of May, Lark, Abbott and Burns meant often a Reds win.
They have stepped up and they've led the way, and the rest of the team, the rest of the rotation, 2-9 with a 7. That's the rotation, the bullpen. It's been a struggle.
And there was a stretch of weeks where those two men on the mound meant victory and anyone else meant a loss. And that's not a generalization. It was literally the case over those outings. Vinny Pasquantino got aboard 3 times yesterday. A couple of hits, a ribby, a walk. 1-0 from Abbott. Pasquantino, another Royal who has dire season-long numbers. But his last week and a half, 10 games, 306. More walks than strikeouts. Nice breaking ball. Last few outings, we've seen a pretty good sweeper from Abbott. Trying to go back to it. I thought the Royals in general seemed to have a game plan to take yesterday early. What did you see?
Well, I think anytime you score early, that actually happened before the score.
Falls foul. Should that have been caught?
Yeah, it probably should have been caught, but I think Gino was just so deep. It looks like there was a little indecisiveness right away. See, Steve-O doesn't go right away hard for it. He's looking to see where Gino is. Normally, if Gino's playing in regular depth, he catches that ball. I think because of the extreme shift, I don't think Steve-O took that into account.
I'll circle that moment if Pasquantino reaches. No play. But I think Abbott does an excellent job of not just reading swings, but tendencies. Almost kind of getting a feel for what is their scouting report on me? What do they expect me to do? Landed strike 3. Pasquantino dropped the bat and started to remove the gear, but he goes down looking.
Yeah, that was a really good fastball. Perfectly located. That command of that fastball so critically important.
So now Nick Lofton. Backdoor miss on the breaking ball. That seems to be part of Abbott's plan early. He's tried to use that arm side breaking ball away to righties, into lefties. It's been a little inconsistent landing it so far. That's cracked to right field. Right at Dunn. Now, you broke down some of the numbers, Lark, in our open. It's been a distinct difference. Abbott's first 6 starts as a group, really opening day excluded. He was good that day. And his last 6 starts. And it seems like the biggest difference, if you want to make it simple, it's fewer hits. It's way fewer hits.
There still is traffic on the bases. He's talked about the fact that his walks still aren't down where he wants them to be. But he is navigating the traffic much better, and I think that's all about him landing critical times, landing the pitches he needs to land. I feel like the command is what's there, which was not there earlier in the season. So he couldn't make a pitch when he needed to.
This is what he's done against southpaw swingers. Remember, that was an alarming concern early. Gets a chase from Caglione. That's 6 starts in and a total reversal.
Yeah. I think the other thing you have to take into account is this. He's not sneaking up on anyone. He was an all-star last year. So when you have that target on your back, people pay attention. And so they're bringing their A game because they want to beat the best in the game. And Andrew Abbott last year was one of the best in the game. So you show up, you're not quite on top of your game, and guys are hyper focused on what they need to do. You make a mistake here and there and you pay for it.
3-2 is in the dirt, and to your other point, because Abbott will say this himself, he's like most men at this level, especially those with higher achievement, self-critical in a way to try to get better. He wants the best from and of himself. Walks are down modestly, but still higher than where he's been and where he wants to be. Those first 6, it was a little over 4 per 9. That's high. He's now just under 4 per 9, still high. First pitch fouled back by Tolbert, and he now has a walk in each inning to begin tonight's game. Changeup. Got a big swing, 0-2. Tolbert asks for time. Cousin of NFL quarterback Joshua Dobbs and Jags wideout Parker Washington. But his other sport in high school was not football. He was a hooper. Played basketball. 0-2. Wayne. Caglianone's an enormous man, held on by Stewart. Bend the knee, gets away from Stevenson, put out complete. Now Abbott gets the K and strands a man. Spencer Steer will be due up second for the Reds in the second inning. He has been an on-base machine for the last few weeks. We'll see if the Reds can get some runs. Scoreless game. First pitch. Eugenio Suarez bounced to short. A lot of rain shown by Witt. Steps into it. Up the line a bit. Pasquantino stays on the bag. Some good ground covered by Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah, taking in consideration who's the runner. Takes a little bit deeper angle towards the ball. Knows he has plenty of time. And then shows off that strong arm.
He's got that little thin slice of sunlight in his eyes. Strike one on Steer. Base hit and a walk yesterday, on base in 20 straight. Best longest active run in the big leagues, longest of his career. He's also the latest guest on the Jim Day podcast, as co-hosted by Nathaniel Lowe. I did get a chance to listen to most of it between last night and today, and part of the talk in that outstanding conversation, the impact of sunlight on the batter's eye at Great American Ballpark and how hard it can be to see the ball early in games.
That's a real thing for sure.
How so, and how can you combat it? What do you do?
Well, you wear eye blacks to try to cut down on some of the glare, but it's glare. When it's really light outside, it's really difficult. The depth perception is affected. So seeing spin, seeing the seams on the ball, that's a much more difficult situation than when it's completely dark on that hitting eye behind the pitcher.
2-2, softly sent to short. In tonight's Toyota Tundra Home Run Challenge, Melanie Heck from Trenton, Ohio, wins a brand new built in the USA Tundra if a red hits the Toyota Hit and Win sign. Register for your chance to win at any Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Toyota dealer. Tyler Stevenson, 0 for 4 yesterday, did line to center, struck out twice. Now, you mentioned the idea of seeing spin. The curveball is arguably Cameron's best pitch these days. His fastballs are getting hit this season. Softly sent to third. Now the fastball, he is using it more. Usage has jumped from about 25% to 30%. But the league hit .233 against it last year. For the pitcher, it's pretty good. This year, .315 against that heater. The curveball is the pitch that gets outs the best. We've already seen that today, and he tried to use it. We'll get ABS.
The catcher's challenging.
Powered by T-Mobile. Two catchers talking shop, Perez and Stevenson. He's right.
Call's overturned. It is a strike. Strike 3. The batter's out.
Reds go in order. We go to Jim Day with a special guest on this Lou Gehrig Day 2026. It's a daybreak.
John, thank you very much. We have visited before with John Driscoll Hopkins of the Zac Brown Band, and my pleasure to bring him in again, sang the national anthem here tonight. You were diagnosed in 2021 with ALS, and this relationship you have with the Cincinnati Reds, how special has that been for you?
It's been incredibly special. This club really treats us very well. I get the feeling that not only do they care about the ALS community, but they care about me personally. I really feel that way.
Now, you have the Hop on a Cure Foundation, which is most certainly to raise awareness for the fight against ALS, but it's also to inspire people. What would be your message of hope to anyone that's watching?
I think we put our feet on the floor every day until we can, and there is real change going on in the ALS medical community, and I think we just need to hang on and keep raising money for research. Hop on a Cure is dedicated to funding research that might otherwise not get funded.
Now, I see people's faces light up, those that are here tonight that have also been afflicted with ALS, and I know that has to mean the world to them. What does it mean to you? Does it help you as well?
It does. I'm a part of an incredible community that no one asks to be a part of, and I see the drive and the determination in all of their lives, and you know, no one wants to give up on this fight, and I get that in spades from my Cincinnati ALS people.
Well, you are an inspiring man, Hop. It is my pleasure to talk to you once again. I'm a big fan of the Zac Brown Band and a big fan of yours. Godspeed, my friend.
Thank you, bud.
John, let's go back to you.
Well, kind thanks to Hop and to Jim. First pitch strike to Michael Massey. You know, Lark, earlier today, he's been battling ALS for years, and he took time during his visit here today to be with family and friends of those affected by ALS. He continues to give in his own way. That's a driven, connected man.
It 100% is, and so important, so inspiring to hear him talk about the support that he gets specifically here from the Cincinnati community. I think it's outstanding, and it's amazing.
Well, it's a gorgeous night for baseball. 1-2 from Abbott to Massey. Start of the hands, held back. Appeal confirms, no go. Massey got on 3 times yesterday, had 3 hits, did have a homer in the 7th, his 5th of the year. He's already topped his home run total from an injury-marred 2025. He has homered in back-to-back games. This one rolled to second. Arroyo. 1 down. Well, first time through, a couple of strikeouts, couple of walks, no hits against Andrew Abbott. Make that 3 strikeouts and the 2 walks. What's your feel first time through?
Command. Once again, I feel like he's missed a few times arm side with that breaking ball, but other than that, he's been able to spot the fastball here and there. And as his pop says, as this game continues, he'll get better.
In there for a strike. Lane Thomas grounded to short his first time. Thomas's slug against the Reds, .612 entering play tonight. That's the second highest among all active men against the Reds, with 100 at bats against Cincinnati. And that power pops all the more in Cincinnati, where he's had multiple multi-home run games. On his career, he's not really a power hitter. He entered last night with 1 home run on the season and hit a grand slam that essentially won the game in the first inning. And that was really an outlier for a Royals team that has struggled to score. That's what he's done lifetime at Great American Ballpark. Loves hitting here more than anywhere else. The Royals snapped a 6-game slide and posted their highest run total, 9, in well over a month. Have to go back to April the 26th. They hung 11 that day on the Angels, but that game went to extras. They only had 8 runs through 9. They got 3 of those runs in extra innings. Swung through. You always talk about how it's derived from the fastball, and I think Abbott is one of the extreme examples of that.
Yeah, absolutely is. Nice located forcing fastball. This time at the top outside corner of the plate. It is all about fastball command. If you can command the fastball and throw it on both sides of the plate, it's such an advantage.
Has not yet thrown a strike to Bobby Witt Jr., who walked on 4 and stole his team leading 18th base his first time. It's the chase on the changeup. He's had a couple of righties offer at a changeup off the plate by a pretty good amount. Lands that breaking ball strike. Witt a deep exhale after calling time. One, 2. Golfed foul. Stewart over. In the seats. Brief word now from the good folks at Kia. Line to right, Dunn adjusting and leans to make the catch. Scoreless still. Last night we welcomed Edwin Arroyo to the big leagues, who introduced himself with his first big league base hit. What does he do for an encore? Get Jay-Z ready. He's due up second.
It didn't start how I wanted, but it finished how I wanted. So great for the opportunity and excited for the first game. Just listening to the fans, and it was great. It was great. I was really excited after that. So hopefully, let's keep it going.
Bunt by Blake Dunn. Good one. Shovel. Oh, what a play. Noah Cameron with the stab and fluid flip against a burner down the line.
Yeah, this is just an outstanding creative play right here. Noah Cameron, there's no chance for you to catch that ball, put it in your throwing hand, and flip that ball to first base. How he controls this ball with the flip of that glove, that is just outstanding. Wow.
Was he an option quarterback at some point?
Hey, man, he just rode the fullback right through the hole and gave it up.
Play the pitch man. One shown by Arroyo. He pulls back for a strike. Got his first big league hit with his sister Keisha somewhat nervously standing throughout all of his at-bats.
Yeah, hopefully moms and pops makes it to town soon.
Now your heart has to be aglow, because what were we talking about at our dinner tonight before the game? The idea of at least showing and maybe trying to drop down a bunt now and then. Back-to-back Reds at least showed it. Dunn tried to do it.
I was just about to comment on that, John. You're absolutely right. Read my mind, buddy. I love the idea. The speed at the bottom of the lineup. Listen, you do want to get a hit, but a hit doesn't mean you have to swing the bat all the time. Right? You want to get on base. You want to make things happen. You've got team speed. I feel to a man, I feel like we need to incorporate the bunt or the bunt attempt into many of these hitters, especially the guys that aren't hitting 200. I feel like that does a couple things. I feel like it makes you allow the ball to travel so you get a better look at the ball, and it could eventually help you with your balance and maintaining your balance when you eventually do swing the bat.
Matt McLain connected on a double in the ninth, scored a Royal for an RBI. He also worked a walk, but his trend has not been a great one. He is now 2 for his last 29. Now that said, I spoke with Matt some today and asked him about how he compartmentalizes his defense. It's very easy to be struggling that significantly as a hitter and see it bleed into defense. That happens a lot. McLain chips this ball to center. It has not with McLain, but that's a fly ball out in a 1-2-3 inning. Cameron has been perfect with a strikeout in each frame. Register for the Ohio 529 College Advantage Red Legs Run, presented by Tri-Health. Reds fans of all abilities are invited to run, walk, or roll across the finish line in GABP. Proceeds benefit the Reds Community Fund. Register now at reds.com/run. Mr. Red will meet you there. All zeros in the fourth. The Reds have not put a man on base. The Royals have had a couple of men on, both via walk, against Andrew Abbott. Salvador Perez saw one pitch his first time. He flied to center, takes a strike. Abbott had more balls than strikes in the first. He went even in the second, and then thrust ahead about a little more than twice as many strikes as balls last inning, past the backhand dive of McLain. It's a well-placed Tony Gwynn-esque 5-6 hole base hit.
Well, the big fella has been doing it for a while. Salvador Perez, see how that ball hits the lip. I think if that ball doesn't hit the lip, it might stay up. Matt McLain might have a play on that ball.
Perez, who wears the C for the Royals. Marte shows bunt, drops it down, stung to third. Suarez barehand, throw to second. It was a decent idea, could be dangerous. Alertly, a Royal was there. Got a slower moving runner, but that'll be a bunt base hit.
Yeah, no play at all at first base. Marte can still fly. And really no thought process at all. Just throwing that ball right away to second base. I don't know if he even took a look.
There's Marte saying, hey, good idea. You got no shot to get me.
Right.
Now Vinny Pasquantino shows bunt, yanks it back. Remember, we saw this yesterday, and Joel looked it up. Royals are about league average for how often they square a bunt. They showed bunt a ton yesterday, and they're doing it again here tonight.
It's a weapon, especially when you have a tough lefty-on-lefty situation.
Now, what did Salvador say when he got to second?
That's smart. Very smart, partner. Now, they were teammates on that WBC team from Team Venezuela. Oh, yeah. Can't pass cheese past the rat. No chance.
1-1 is lifted left side. McLain going out. Infield fly was called, 1 out. Yeah, one other nugget along those lines. When Edwin Arroyo took the field at Great American Ballpark for the first time, one of the shots of yesterday was Gino Suarez with his arm wrapped around him. They spent extended time together. It felt like there was an immediate kinship, and that connection definitely fed into the trust that Arroyo would be there at second base. Lofton is lined to right, another lash to right. Handled on a skip by Dunn, but the lead runner is not quick. And Dunn's got a good arm. Perez just jogged into third and now embraces Suarez as those two say hello. And I think he was giving him some guff about not going to second earlier on the bunt. Hey, man, you could have had me.
Look how big Salvador is.
He is.
Gino looks small, and Gino is not a small man.
Strike one at Caglione. I got to cover Sal when he was in A-ball. He was the third catcher, which almost never happens in A-ball. And he was the third guy of the three. And he very quickly, as a 20-year-old, showed he was the best of the bunch. And within that season, the Royals knew they had a future star. He had amazing feel for calling pitches. The longtime pitching coach at that level, former big leaguer Steve Luber, could be appropriately hard on his catchers for how they called the game. But he embraced Sal immediately. Bouncer off of Abbott, deflects to Arroyo. Throw goes to first. They get that force. Perez scores. And the Royals get a run out of that bases loaded situation. Reds down 1-0.
Yeah, unfortunately that this ball hits off Andrew Abbott. I believe that's a double play all day long. Matt McClain is right there. But the Karam going to second base, not able to turn the double play.
So 1-4-3 and an RBI. Now Tolbert, who has struck out, shows bunt in a second and third 2-out situation. He's still at it squared. Appeal says it's a strike. Running to squeeze. Now you got Marte as the lead runner. But you mentioned his quicks. He's got 361 career steals. Check swing seemed to go. No appeal needed there. 0-2. I mentioned earlier we've seen a strong sweeper of late from Abbott. That command has been a little off. The changeup, even in not great location, seems to be getting swings. Fastball up. Did not get the chase there. Suarez and Marte engaged in conversation off of third. Abbott's 2-2. Almost got him running in. What does he do here from 0-2 to 3-2? First base open. Massey, who's a far more powerful hitter and hotter hitter of late, is on deck, but is a lefty. Payoff. Walked it. Bases loaded again. Here comes Derek Johnson, Reds pitching coach. And now has more strikes than balls. By the way, I had Joel look this up because I thought it was probably true. Starling Marte, #1 among all active big leaguers in career steals. Doesn't have one this year. He's actually 0 for 1. But when he needs a bolt, he can give you a bolt. Keep that in mind. If a pitch gets away, he will try to come home. Yeah. So now it's bases loaded for Massey.
I think one of the underrated great athletes. Long tenure in the big leagues. Starling Marte.
Lifetime 333, bases full, no grannies. It was a grand slam that set the tone, basically won the game first frame yesterday from Lane Thomas. Strike one on Massey, who grounded to second his first time. Massey this year has hit 300 in his limited looks against lefties. This one popped up. Stevenson to mask off. Flips it. No play. Now the Royals have been stymied by southpaws at a crazy rate. Kansas City this year is a baseball worst 2-13 against left-handed starting pitching. Away. The only American League team to have a worse record in their first 15 games against lefties ever is the 1988 Orioles. They lost 14 of 15 against lefties to begin that year. And you can understand why. They often have a lot of left-handed bats in their lineup. They went about as right-handed heavy as they can tonight. But yesterday, their more usual look, they had 5 lefties and a switch hitter. Two in the air, foul. The inning began with the first base hit of the ball game between either club. The single that found the hole left side from Perez. Marte, a bunt base hit, got on. Lofton lined a hopping single to right to help load him up. A run in. 2-2. Cracked foul. This will be the 7th pitch of the plate appearance. Already 3 fouls for Massey, the last 2 on heaters. Fouls off the breaking ball. The 24th pitch of the inning. Fouled away. Grounded with eyes. Arroyo can't get there. Marte scores. Lofton around third. Myers throw to second. Lofton slides in for a second run. Tolbert goes first to third. Base hit, 2 ribs for Massey as he wins that war, and the Reds are now down 3-0.
Well, you mentioned it. It was a war. So many pitches. He has to come with the fastball. And Massey's ready. Fouls out quite a few pitches. And as a hitter, that's what you're just trying to do. Foul them off until you can get something you can handle and put it in play. And he did just that.
Lane Thomas takes ball 1. A curveball misses. This starts 3rd time through for Abbott, who has an alarmingly high pitch count at this stage, inflamed heavily by this inning. If he continues at this kind of a rate, he'll probably have a hard time giving the Reds much more than 5. Two and 1. Now the good news, Reds have an off day Thursday, and the effort of Brandon Liebrandt yesterday helped save the Reds bullpen. 2-1 is a miss. Luis May is up right now. And the Reds should have just about everyone available. May, who had been sent back down, was only called back up earlier today. Called a ball. That's going to reload the bases. These are the moves the Reds made today. Zach McCambley, who came over in the Reese Hines trade, he had been a Rule 5 man with the Phillies and returned shortly before the season began, is up from AAA. He's been good. May's got a live arm, but has not shown consistency in the bigs. Liebrandt and Richardson were DFA'd. So now here's a major jam. It's Bobby Witt Jr. who first pitch pops up. Suarez in foul ground. Well, the Royals tax Abbott in both pitches and runs. 3-0. Get the 2026 Reds Heads Kids Club membership for Reds fans ages 3 to 12. It includes exclusive merch, free Reds tickets, special members-only experiences at the ballpark. Available today, Reds.com/fanclubs. Well, the Reds are down 3-0. That's the bad news. The good news, it's second time through against Noah Cameron, who pumped strike one. Reds haven't put a man on base yet, and that's not atypical. Cameron has been excellent first time through on the year, even against elite offenses. In fact, he did it twice against the Yankees. Second time through, a totally different story. You often see the major spike that third time through. That's very common. First time through, the league's hitting 171 against him. On the base in the 230s, slug is in the 290s. He's pretty dominant. Second time through, the average is 357. The on base is almost 390. The slug is in the 630s. OPS is that honeypot number these days, right? His is fourth worst in the majors second time through.
So strap on your seatbelt. We're about to take off.
Let's see. 1-2. Up and in, buzzed him.
I thought that's what you were selling right there, John.
That's yes.
All right, let's go.
Last night was a weird energy game right from the beginning. 2-2. You could smell it. You could feel it. It was a weird game.
Well,
it felt ominous.
Yeah. Losing Ellie De La Cruz and your Chase Burns, your starter, I can see how that would not be a good start to the day.
Myers pops out to Massey. I don't know how I feel about this game right now. I don't know. I mean, I honestly kind of feel like this pocket could help determine that. J.J. Bleday has been one of the hottest hitters in the majors. Check swing, appeal, he wins, strike one. He is grounded out to first. That curveball that is Cameron's best weapon on the year. I think he's used it very smartly so far, early in counts and later in counts. Our Kia player profile. Bleday goes beyond this year for his success against Southpaws. His last 2 years, 327, OPS 900. There's a pretty good left-on-left changeup. How does he do that?
Well, once again, it's about staying square to the plate, and I feel like his swing, much like Spencer Steer's swing from the left side and the right side, is just very flat. He does pull the ball a little more often. However, he does cover that outside part of the plate. He's quick to the ball on the inside. I don't believe that's a concern of his at all, because that's what happens naturally. But that flat swing helps everything.
Up and in, count goes full. Bleday does a lot of damage with 3-ball counts. His average spikes to almost 370, and his OPS is among the best in the majors. And I think part of that, Lark, is not only how he can zone with 3 balls, but his willingness and ability to take in a 3-ball count. He's not committed to saying this is a 3-ball. That is a full count's a little different, right? But no matter what, I think there's that fine line of patience. You know, he can foul this off, he can stay alive, but if he sees it as a ball, he's unafraid to take that pitch. And sometimes he strikes out looking, yeah, but not an exceptional amount.
I mentioned this the other day. He really works and gets his nose behind the baseball, so he just stays there. That's all about balance. You can see the ball. He gets in really good hitting position.
This one softly sent to second. And when the Reds faced Cameron the first time, that happened a lot. It was a lot of weak ground ball contact. He got 8 ground outs that day. And those that watch him regularly with the Royals say part of the reason he's not been as good against lefties this year has been his inability to get soft ground balls like that, and his inability to throw a bitey slider that gets swings and misses. So far for the Reds, left, right doesn't matter. They have not put a man on base. Sal Stewart has struck out.
I feel like it's been that changeup and the curveball that have really been the pitches that he's been able to rely on to get a lot of that soft contact. I feel like that four-seam fastball just sets up that curveball and changeup.
And Stewart jammed, pops it up. He's got a perfecto through 4. Reds down 3.
So the Reds on Saturday, June 13th. Fans in attendance will receive an Andrew Abbott City Connect bobblehead thanks to St. Elizabeth Healthcare while supplies last. For tickets, head to reds.com/tickets. Abbott back on the bump. Happy belated birthday. He was a birthday boy yesterday.
Oh, thank you, Jim. Turned 27 years young. First pitch missed to Perez, who began the 3-run fourth with a base hit. Later scored. He is also flied to center. Still has some power in that bat. Long foul ball. Now Perez has a body type that's reminiscent of and a skill type similar to arguably the #1 Reds prospect, his countryman who he has worked out with in the offseason, the rising Red backstop Alfredo Duno.
Alfredo Duno, another very large human being behind the dish. This 19 or 20 years old, I believe he is, up in Dayton. Very similar build, but really athletic, big body guy. Tremendous power. I mean, tremendous. I think he hit a ball the other day, reportedly 450. 470, something along those lines.
He homered again tonight, Mark.
Yeah, but this one probably wasn't 450, 470.
I don't know.
Probably just 405.
He's already got 11 home runs in high A, and he's hitting almost 280.
Yeah, he's just working on the defensive side of the game. He has not caught a lot. He's only been a pro for 3 years. I think that he was hurt in a year, so he didn't get a lot of time behind the dish. So he's working on his relationship with the pitchers, on his game calling, making the defensive side of the ball very personal. I was up there and had a chance to spend some time with him and Julio Murillo, the manager up there, Gustavo Molina, who was really, Corky Miller was up there as well. Guys are doing a nice job helping him and pushing him to be as good as he can be. He's going to be a force when he gets here.
It's driven by Marte, deep center. Myers streaking back, trying to find the wall. He leaps and robs him. That's the deep safety going straight away for the pick. Dane Myers was probing to find the wall, and he found the ball for a big out.
He had to go a long way. This ball was scalded off the bat at 102, and you can see him put his curve filler up to look for that wall. I'm not there. I got plenty of space. Fine play by Dane Myers.
Pasquantino, first pitch strike. He is struck out looking. He is popped to short. This is lifted left side, foul, out of play. Yeah, another nugget about Duno's performance that jumps to me. So his average is good. You know, he's just below 280. He was almost 290 last year in low A. His power is so pronounced, and these pitchers are already learning what kind of power he has. They are very clearly pitching around him. Check swing. His on base last year was 430. His on base this year is 421, hitting 277. That's how many times he's getting walked. That's how many times the pitcher's saying, punt, I'm not pitching to this guy. Foul back.
He's definitely going to see that throughout his career because he's always going to be an offensive force. And it's really interesting to hear some of the conversations. You know, a lot of guys that are really good hitters spend a lot of time in the cage because that's what they do. That's their plus tool. Well, when you're a catcher, you can't do that because it's so important. Your relationship with those pitchers are so important. So trying to balance how much time you put in the cage, how much time and energy you exhaust on the offensive side of the game, it's a little more difficult for a catcher.
This is lifted to left center. Myers the call, gliding gap. 1-2-3 inning. Could this be a spark for the Reds tonight? Dane Myers going deep, takes it away.
That sword.
While we were away, a special moment at the stadium. A moment for those in the stands to fly those flags, those pennants, in recognition of knowing someone impacted by ALS. There are many that have felt the wrath of that terrible disease that are at this ballpark tonight. It's all an effort to try to raise awareness about the disease, try to raise funds toward finding a cure. People brought together with purpose can make an impact. Eugenio Suarez is grounded to short. Here he swings and misses. Noah Cameron is perfect. He has now struck out his 4th Red. Our champion Windows pitch tracks.
As I talked about, I feel like his ability to make pitches has been, for me, that curveball changeup combination that he's gone to. You get the chase. I've seen him throw an occasional fastball in, but for me, I feel like the curveball change has been very effective for him.
Pops a strike to Spencer Steer, who was bounced to short. In his major league debut, Noah Cameron had a no-hitter going into the 7th inning. That was the last of April last year against the Tampa Bay Rays. He was one of the sterling young stars on the mound last year. This year he's been far more mortal, but not tonight. At least not so far. Steer has been the on-base maven for the Reds. Could he be the first to reach tonight? 1-1. Lifted left field. Good ride for Steer. Goodbye, perfecto. The 8th of the year for Steer. Perfect game spoiled. Shutout done. Reds on the board. It's 3-1. That's the first home run that Cameron has allowed in weeks.
Well, I talked about that changeup curveball combination. This is a changeup, but look at the location of this changeup. That changeup has to be down in the zone, down around the knees. That ball up in the zone goes a long, long way. Spence missed none of that ball.
First home run allowed in 38 innings for Noah Cameron.
Man, that's a good flat swing. All kind of power.
Stevenson struck out on ABS challenge, looking at a curveball his first time. Upstairs miss. The first homer against Cameron since April 18th at Yankee Stadium. Gave up 3 that day. So while he has certainly limited homers on his year. They've come in bunches. Gave up 2 the start before to the White Sox. That was in Kansas City. 3 to the Yankees and 1 since to Spencer Steer. Way wide, and that is nothing like the changeup he had shown all night in the wake of that home run.
Maybe a little flustered.
Lofton guards the line at third. 2-2. Check swing. No appeal. Good take by Stevenson. Lofton rates very poorly defensively. He's filling in at third for the Gold Glover Michael Garcia, still nursing a hamstring. Lofton made a pretty nice play last night. That's not been the norm on his year. Payoff. Hard ground ball, just foul. Willie Harris has to get out of the way at third base. Fouled away. Ninth pitch of the plate appearance coming. Swung through, strike 3.
Little cutter that time. Got the hitter in swing mode. Probably is a little bit off the plate, but with 2 strikes, you got to protect. It's just a good pitch.
Blake Dunn trying to bunt his way on first time, and Cameron made a really nice play.
Went to the glove, flicked the ball to first base with that glove. It was a great play.
And Dunn is not leading off for the first time in 9 games. Had led off each of his last 8. He's now 1 for his last 17, all on this homestand.
Yeah, I feel like Blake is going through a little bit of a jumpy period. Seems to be lunging a little bit, not swinging as confidently as he was earlier.
Check swing, seemed to hold. Late appeal, no go.
Like that right there. It's almost a little indecisiveness in his swing.
Pull the ripcord, strike 3 called. Reds get on the board. The perfecto spoiled. Steer clear. Spence clears the fence, and the Reds get a run. Reds are on the board. Welcome back to Reds TV, presented by Benefits All In. Spencer Gordon Steer, man with the wonderful mustache, brought his on-base streak to now 21 games, the longest of his career, the longest active in the bigs, giving some life to his teammates.
Spencer Gordon Steer.
I actually debated including a middle name on the home run call, and I have to admit I didn't know it. And then Joel says it's Gordon, and I thought he was joking, but that's actually his middle name. It's Spencer Gordon Steer.
He said on the podcast he was going to shave the stash. He was done with it.
He's hitting too good. They're not shaving.
Well, that's exactly my point. I said May was pretty good for you, and he did it for May.
I'm sure Mama has a lot to do with that.
I loved his description of what he did on his off day, Jim.
A lot of couch. Something like that.
Admittedly, we got in very late. There's great chatter on that episode. 0-2 Caglione, a hard foul. About a nice play. Some of the life on the road, and Nathaniel Lowe, I think, frames it well. The idea of getting in very late at night after a night game. Steer shares that he didn't get to sleep until the sun came up. So he slept in, got some coffee, hung out on the couch, got some dinner, hung out on the couch. And Jim, it felt so spot on with his personality, because all I kept thinking about was when he ate a whole pizza to get out of a slump.
Oh yeah, just go home, large pizza, just crush it.
And then a lot of couch.
Well, part of his thought process on that was a technique from earlier in his career. Not sure he still does that. He said, if I'm in a long slump, I order a large pizza for myself, I destroy it, and then afterward, that's destroyed by Caglione, an early turn, and that's foul. Afterward, either it gets me out of the slump or, nice catch, I just ate a whole pizza.
Yeah.
So that makes me feel good too.
It's good and good. That's just classic Spence.
Like, if you want to know what that man is like, and he's hilarious, and he's a great dude, that's Spencer Steer. Check swing, he did not go.
Yeah, it's like, look on the bright side, you know. It may or may not get me out of the slump, but in the end, I had to crush a large pizza. It's good night.
Oh, to be young.
Payoff. But Caglione's got crazy power. He was one of the highly heralded stars of his draft class. His hard hit rate this year is top 5 in the majors. But his barrel rate drops dramatically. Why? Launch angle. Look at. There is something to finding that sweet spot of how high or low you hit the ball. And not swinging at a pitch in the zone will not allow either.
That'll work against you. You see a pitch like that, a fastball over the middle of the plate.
Bunt by Tolbert.
Yeah,
no
that
play.
one in your pocket for sure. That's just perfectly executed right there. It really doesn't make a difference how close that third baseman is playing. If you put this ball right here, there is virtually no chance for anyone to make a play. That's just great execution.
Well, TJ Antone has been up warming. By now, I would think he's ready. Abbott will oppose Michael Massey with his 102nd pitch. Tolbert is a running threat. First pitch strike. Massey had the 2-run base hit in the 3-run fourth. Tolbert last year came on to run a lot. He led the majors last year in steals as a pinch runner. When he pinch ran, he had 15 steals, was caught twice. And that led to runs a lot. Came around 9 times. You've got to think that this is Abbott's last man between the pitch count and the right-handed Thomas, who Abbott walked, being on deck. Runner goes. Swing and miss. That's strike 3, end of inning. Steal try doesn't matter. The batter's cooked at home plate.
As part of Lou Gehrig Day, this is Sarah Nauser, Kansas City police officer who was diagnosed with ALS in 2018. She's in town here. Her last shift as a police officer came in the Royals dugout, and that's where a special bond was created. Last year on Lou Gehrig's Day, the Royals gifted her a custom Royals wheelchair. Now, she's formed a close bond with the team, and her fighting spirit has really inspired the Royals as a whole. And this year, the Reds welcomed her to Great American Ballpark to see her favorite team play on the road. There she is in a 51 jersey, by the way. That Brady Singer, the former Royal, gifted her that jersey and signed it as
you have 2 challenges remaining.
That pitch is a strike, and there's a special picture right there, and a special person in Sarah Nauser. And it went as far as on the opening day tease on TV. It was a letter that she wrote to the team, and the TV side used that to open the season with. These special connections that we as humans make through sports. very nice to see.
Well, thank you, Jim. And a special salute to Sarah. Yeah, it was moving to see how most of the ballpark stood and applauded when she was recognized on the big board. As Josie, the longtime PA man here, told her story, you could see how it swept over everyone who was in the stadium. Arroyo fights a foul. He struck out swinging his first time. Jim, his whole family here tonight?
Yeah, mom and dad are, and I haven't seen them in the crowd, but just his sister, who we showed many times, who never sat during the game last night, got to see that first hit as he goes down looking here. But he said last night that mom and dad were coming in, one from Puerto Rico, one from Florida, and they're watching on in what is a special series for this young man.
Couple of strikeouts tonight. Now McLean, who was flied to center.
Dad also named Edwin, by the way.
McLean with the bunt. Cameron again. Second time tonight. Not as exceptional as the first time, but he's been up to the task to field his position.
Yeah, he bounces well. Good quickness. After he releases the ball, he's got great balance. Matt trying to take this ball to the second baseman. The second baseman was playing him pretty deep. He gets this ball past the pitcher. It's a base hit all day. Cameron does a nice job of bouncing off that mound.
Dane Myers, ground out, pop out. He's 0 for 2. Takes strike 1. So Steer, the home run spoiled the perfecto, but he is still the only Red to reach base. That's the only hit. Cameron hasn't walked a man. This one sent to right. Caglianone's got it. Well, Cameron, one of the better outings of his blossoming career at the expense of the Reds. Cincinnati Reds baseball is presented by Jake Sweeney Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. By UC Health. Expect more at uchealth.com. And by Bet365, where winning is everything. Andrew Abbott authored his 5th quality start of the year, but he is on the hook. Yanked at the start of the 7th, Reds down 3-1. First man out of the pen is TJ Antone. A rip foul by Lane Thomas. Our Skyline Chili called to the bullpen.
Really nice every time we get a chance to see Antone out there on the mound. Last time we saw him was against Atlanta. It was in Saturday's ball game. Did work an inning. Threw 16 pitches.
Ground ball to McLean. 1 out. 3-4 now from Big Sandy Superstore.
You'll find the best selection of the top brands at the guaranteed lowest price. Big Sandy Superstore in Fairfield and the Kenwood Shopping Center.
And now Bobby Wood Jr., who has walked, stolen a bag, lined out, and foul popped. Ball 1. When it looked like Abbott was perhaps getting close to the end the first time, Luis May was the man who warned. But the Reds did get a run back on the homer by Steer. Swing and a miss. And now the veteran Antone, who at one point did go a calendar week without throwing. Pitched back-to-back days, bridging the road series in Cleveland and Philly, May 17th and 18th. Swing and a miss, nasty breaking ball. And did not take the mound again until the 25th in New York against the Mets.
Went to that sweeper 3 times in a row. Veteran you mentioned. Started on the plate. Run it off. 2 strikes, get the chase. Just smart. and good execution.
Taking on the top of this Royals order, Perez has singled and scored.
Amazing how that same pitch with no strikes, you don't get to chase.
Tries to rebound here, 1-0. Another miss wide, appeal no go. Pete Perez was special, man. 2021. Finished 7th in the MVP voting. He co-led the majors in homers as an everyday catcher. Hit 48 home runs. He led the majors in RBIs as an everyday catcher. And he also led all catchers in caught stealing percentage that year.
How many games did he catch? How many games did he play? He could have DH'd some of those games, but do we know how many games he actually caught? Certainly as a workhorse.
Check it out. $122. That's a lot.
That is a lot. DH'd, I'm assuming quite a few games.
40 times.
Well,
yep. But he had 500 plate appearances as a catcher.
Ouch. Those guys behind the dish are certainly workhorses. A lot of respect for what Steve-O does. B.J. Higgins, Trevino. They put in a lot of work. And that, as I was talking about Alfredo Duno, that's the balancing act. He is an offensive guy. You could see him leading the league in home runs and potential MVP and from a catching position. He just has that kind of physical ability. But the main responsibility is handling that pitching staff. And that is the only way you're going to win, is if those guys get the job done. And Salvi has always been a great defensive catcher.
Almost 12,000 innings gone. And he works the walk here from Antone. And also consider, in that best year of his career offensively, he had already been to the bigs for a decade. He had all that wear and tear of catching for 10 years to that point.
Just a massive human being.
He works the walk. Now Marte takes a strike. Bunt base hit. He has flied to deep center. He has lined to deep center. The more recent one came in the 5th when Dane Myers elevated as he hit the track and snared it in the air. Buzzed by Antone on a sinker, 1-1. Looks like Sam Moll is up in the Reds' pen. While the Royals, Noah Cameron has not gone longer than 7 innings lifetime, and the Reds' best shot to get to him is coming up. It's going to be Bleday, Stewart, and Suarez. Number. Antone lets it roll, gathers foul.
Patience, patience, patience. Okay, now.
The veteran hurler. He's also dancing with some of the meat of the order bats for the Royals. All 9 Royals came to the plate in the 3-run 4th. Steer's solo shot in the 5th. The only offense the Reds have had all game. Their only base runner. Swing and a miss. Challenge fastball strikes out Marte. Let's see what 2, 3, and 4 can do for the Reds.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Injury report tonight. Rehab assignment for Rhett Lauder. A couple strikeouts here. He's pitching for AAA Louisville in Memphis. He's now through 2 1/3 innings and he's given up a couple runs, but I would imagine, this is just me talking, this would be just about working off the rust regardless of outcome. The way the Reds pitching situation is now, get his pitch count up upwards of 70 pitches, and in 5 or 6 days get him right back here.
Down and away to Blade, couple of ground outs, and Jim, Terry Francona had shared that Chase Burns starts tomorrow, and if Lauder comes through okay tonight, meaning healthy, meaning he's not hurt in any way, that could mean a veteran being available in the Reds pen tomorrow.
Yeah, Chris Paddock is really given them a role of eating innings and done well. He threw a side yesterday, and Terry Francona mentioned that he will be available out of the bullpen tomorrow. So certainly needing help down there, and a veteran presence might help. So you might see Paddock work out of the pen sooner than later.
Cameron now with 8 strikeouts. That matches his career high. The last 3 and 4 on the night have been looking.
Yeah, just execution of his pitches has been outstanding. Had a slider right on the outside part of the plate.
Sal Stewart. Ball 1. He has struck out. He has popped to short. Cameron has gone 7 3 times in his career, all last season. Has never pitched in a major league 8th inning. Swing and a miss. Now the Royals do have action in their pen, somewhat surprisingly, granted where Cameron is in terms of pitch count, but it's been so hard for the Royals to win. I think even a whisper of true trouble. John Schreiber was the first out of the pen last night. Matt Quatrero knows what could come from this power pocket in the Reds lineup. The Royals have won a single series since May 10th. A win tonight would secure the set. Backdoor miss. Good take by Stewart. This has to be a pretty rare 3-ball count tonight. I know Stevenson went full, his 9-pitch strikeout. Lede went full, his second at bat of the ground out. There haven't been many 3-ball counts. A lot of strikes from Cameron. Swung through. I mean, heck, only 3 batted balls for the Reds have reached the outfield. McLean fly to center. Myers hit that fly ball that sailed to Caglione at right, and Steer, of course, homered. Steer in the hole. 3-2 to Stewart. Is sent to center. Thomas barely budges. 2 down. Brief word now from Miami Valley Gaming.
Get ready to get lucky at MVG. With over 2,200 of the best gaming machines, we got you covered.
Now Eugenio Suarez, who was grounded out, struck out. Joel confirms 4 3-ball counts tonight. First pitch, Suarez, shallow right. Caglione, not the prettiest catch. Not how you'd coach it, but that's a 1-2-3 inning. Toyota game summary. Well, good news, Reds fans. It looks like Noah Cameron's done. It's handshakes and hugs. So 7 incredible innings, 1 base runner, a Spencer Steer homer, 8 strikeouts, tying a career high. Andrew Abbott, his 5th quality start of the year, but he's on the hook. The Steer solo shot is the only Reds offense as Sam Maul takes over on the mound for the Redlegs.
We saw Sam Maul. Outstanding numbers this year. Out of the pen for a save opportunity against the Braves on Saturday or Sunday. Did walk one batter. Did record the save.
Faces Vinny Pasquantino. Strikeout, pop out, fly out. He's 0 for 3. Ball 1. Jamal walked Michael Harris II, but on one pitch got Matt Olson to ground out, leave the bases loaded. Ripped through. Veteran lefty Matt Strahm is now loosening. The long-haired Marvel. And the Reds have Steer, Stevenson, Dunn, right duo. Their bench is backup catcher P.J. Higgins, a right-hander, and 3 lefties, Friedel, Benson, and the most likely man that could be pivotal in Nathaniel Lowe. 2-1. And I'm curious if and when a possible opportunity could arrive, because we saw Will Benson on deck to pinch hit for Tyler Stevenson against the Braves on Saturday. And in that situation, I think the Reds were down multiple runs. And I'm just imagining here trying to use Nathaniel Lowe as the best power bat on that bench to represent a tying run. Check swing seemed to go. Appeal says no. The wave breaks out at GABP. He's at the ready just in case. What's that like when you're not starting? You know that the situation could come up. What are you doing during that time?
Yeah, you're prepping on who's in the bullpen, who you potentially could hit for. Obviously, Nate Lowe's situation, not a situation where he's going to be put into the game to get a runner over or put a bunt down. It's going to be to drive in a run or drive himself in. So who are the potential guys that I could be seeing? Have I faced them in the past? Do I have video on them? What's their feature pitch?
Up the middle, Arroyo on the charge.
Get as much information as you can. Nice job of breaking down, understanding you don't have a flyer. You got plenty of time. I think that's the biggest thing as a rookie, to understand that everybody doesn't run a sub-4 to first base, because the lights are definitely brighter up here in Cincinnati than they were down in Louisville.
First pitch strike to Lofton, who has lined to right, singled to right, and scored. He's also grounded out to short. 2 of his ABs had been decided on the first pitch. Suarez backs up at third after that first pitch strike. And that's where, Jim, I thought one of the great conversations in your podcast with Nathaniel Lowe and Spencer Steer was Nathaniel talking about game speed down to the field and the angle of video that he likes to use to prepare.
Yeah, he wants just a straight center field shot if he can get it, and nothing but pitcher and batter, because he says he finds himself, and this is no knock against what we do, but when you watch a television broadcast, there's a lot going on, like a cutaway right here, for instance. He just wants to lock in on that and look at movement, pitch selection, pitch location. That's what how he prefers to watch the game.
And I believe he added that he wants to be as low to the field as possible, because he feels like that high home or higher shot makes the game look too easy and slow.
Yeah, and even Steer admitted when he's watching a game, he's like, how'd that guy not hit that? And it looks so easy from the level that you guys are on or in the stands, but that's one of the benefits of what I do. I'm at field level. The game is so fast down here, and I get to see the side angle, north and south, like movement on that pitch. I mean, Maul at times throws wiffle balls, and to see the movement from field level, it's a whole different game down here. It is so fast and so hard. I mean, look at the movement on that pitch.
I mean, that's like the perfect pitch to demonstrate it, right? If you're watching that center field shot at home, you're probably thinking, huh? But put yourself there in his shoes.
Yeah. Very difficult game.
Caglione. Walked his first time. He has since driven in a run with a ground out that ricocheted off Andrew Abbott and struck out looking. The wave thickens slightly. Caglione chases a sweeper. The Reds bullpen this year much maligned in the last month, and somewhat fairly so. Performance has not been there. But Sam Maul has been incredibly steady. He has been an outstanding performer for this Reds team. 0-2. And in spring training, I wondered where he fit in when it was looking like the Reds could have 3 lefties coming out of spring. How does Maul fit? He fits great. He's helped the Reds in a ton of spots this year. I mean, even beyond what he's performed on the mound, something that TJ Antone has shared with Jim Day. Jim, that's where Antone found his added pitch.
Yeah, just playing catch. And this happens a lot, particularly with pitchers, whether it be a grip, just learning pitches from teammates. They were just playing catch, AAA Louisville. And Maul's one of the harder guys to play catch with because, again, he's throwing wiffle balls. He was throwing a sweeper. And Antone's like, man, what is that pitch? Show me how you throw that thing. And did the grip, threw it, and it's like, wow, that registers pretty well. Now the sweeper is in the arsenal. It's one of 2 pitches he's added this year, sweeper and a cutter. And we saw him tonight. What, he struck out Witt through 3 straight sweepers. So, and I'm sure Barry can attest to that. Just sitting around, talking the game, playing catch, you learn so much from teammates.
You do. You do.
That last one broke Caglione's original game bat. New lumber in hand. Exhale for Maul. 1-2 again. Got him. Runs in on Caglione and puts him on.
Certainly not trying to hit Caglione, but if you're going to throw it in there, especially against this big guy, you got to get it in there. And you got to throw it with conviction.
So now the speedy Tolbert, who had a brilliant bunt hit first pitch his last time. He's also walked and struck out. Suarez on the grass at third. But you mentioned it when he dropped down that bunt last time. It almost doesn't matter. If he executes the bunt the way he did that last AB, it's a hit.
It is.
Caglione takes off. Throw down. Big man coming and takes out Arroyo. Caglione, the gentlemanly thing, that checks on the much smaller middle infielder. That's a big body sliding in for a steal.
It is. He can move for a big man too. Gets a good jump.
Listed at 6'4", 250.
I just remember a Ricky Henderson flying into second base, or Kirk Gibson, Dave Parker flying into second base. A little different intent back in that day. Can't make contact with the middle infielders, but those guys, they were looking to make contact with the middle infielders, regardless if it was a stolen base or breaking up a double play.
Yeah, look up Hal McRae.
Hal McRae. That wasn't a slide.
No.
That was a block.
It's incredible.
Yeah, coming across the bag.
Yeah.
And just
Incredible.
taking out. Yeah.
One, two. Fouled away. Strom is still up in the Royals pen.
That stolen base is all about getting yourself in scoring position. Now just a simple base hit gives you an opportunity to score a run. you have, and you can get production from the bottom third of your lineup. If you have speed, use it.
Way wide. The left-handed Massey on deck, first base open. Dunn cheats in at right. The Reds recognize the import of that run. And man, could that be a collision if that happens. Caglione, that huge dude, and Stevenson, no slouch at the plate. Also looking forward, Lark, Strom as the man warming. That tells me that the Royals are thinking two-run game. So even if Steer homers, who cares? Royals still lead. And they like the left-handed Strom against Stevenson or Dunn because they believe it's going to paralyze the use of Benson or moreover Nathaniel Lowe.
Yep.
And they'll take the veteran Strom against Dunn, who has struggled, and Stevenson, whose contact on the year is down. That's the matchup next inning. 3-2. Walked it. Zach Maxwell is up in the Reds pen. So now Mal, who pitched back-to-back games just a few days ago, is almost assuredly on his last hitter. It's up to him to try to get Michael Massey, end this inning, keep it a two-run game. Brief word now from Kia. The biggest hit of the game came off the bat of Massey against left-handed starter Andrew Abbott. A two-run single came in that three-run fourth. He's also grounded to second and struck out. Oh, with one. First time these two have matched up in the big leagues. Oh, with two. Sam Maul trying to keep the Reds close. They've not known a lead tonight. Two on, two out, two strikes. Struck him out. Spencer Steer has the only Reds run. Knocked himself home with a homer. The only Red to reach tonight will ignite the eighth.
So I hammer the.
Our Blue Moon bright spot. The only Red to reach, a Steer homer.
Not many mistakes were made by Cameron today, Noah Cameron. But this was a changeup left up out over the plate, and Spencer Steer crushed it.
Kyle Isbell is into the game in center. Lane Thomas moves to left. Tolbert, it seems, is done. New man on the mound is the veteran lefty Matt Strom.
See a lot of movement from Matt Strom. The lefty likes to sling it up there. Four-seam fastball sits about 91. It's a fastball slider combination, occasional change.
Ripped through by Steer, who's also grounded out to short. Now Cameron career high tying 7 innings. The one run on that one hit, the Steer solo shot, no walks, no other base runners. 8 strikeouts tied a career high. Steer pops it up. Tony Santillan now stands alongside Zach Maxwell. It's only Santillan who's throwing in the Reds bullpen. Time called by Steer. Strom just came off the IL Sunday, had missed a couple of weeks with knee inflammation. 1-2 is bounced foul. Steers home run, our StatCast 3D Google Cloud.
Change up in the zone, 106 off the bat. Stretched.
One, two. Driven to right. Caglione going way back. A two-homer day for Spencer Steer. He has been the Reds' offense. Give him 9 on the year, and it's a one-run game. He says, hop on my back. Trying to bring him back.
I feel like that's something that we have not seen a lot from Spencer Steer. I think it talks about how well he's swinging the bat right now. When he hits the ball to right field, he doesn't, well, he drove that ball to right field. Let's just put it that way. That ball was smashed. That is a great, great sign.
4th career multi-homer game for Steer. Tyler Stevenson takes a strike. Remember, Steer homered in his first 3 plate appearances that wild night against the Padres last year when Nick Martinez carried a no-hitter into the 9th. The Reds have put a man on base twice all night. Both times a Steer shot that cleared the fence. He's gone to both fields. And now this is the dice roll for the Royals. They were almost conceding. Steer can homer. That's all right. Royals have a lead. Now it's up to Stevenson and Dunn. Right-handers back-to-back against the lefty Strom. That's popped up. Caglione. 1 out.
Spencer Steer swinging the bat well. Such a flat swing and driving the ball the other way. I don't believe I've seen that very often from Spence, but I'm going to tell you, if he starts doing that right now, hitting home runs to right center field, man, that's going to open up a lot for him. That is a fantastic sign.
Blake Dunn. First pitch popped up. Two down. A much cooler breeze has just wafted into our booth. Feels more like fall than it does early June. Edwin Arroyo has struck out twice tonight. He stands in. Pasquantino cleats on the edge of the grass at first. Lofton plays deeper at third by a couple of steps. Strike one. Arroyo's first major league hit was laced solidly over second base opposite way yesterday, and it came in his final AB in the 9th inning. One and one. His sister Keisha stood nervously. There she is. Very same spot. She was against the rail on the steps last night, in the same spot here tonight. Strike two. It's only a handful of ABs. It's his second career major league game. He's been very swing aggressive. Sure, the Royals have paid attention to that. Will he see a pitch in the zone with a 1-2 count? Golfs it to third, caught by Lofton.
Well, Spencer Steer has been the offense. One to left field and this one to right.
The Ohio Lottery postgame concert series is back, featuring John Party, Marshmello, Rick Ross, and Ludacris. Plus, upgrade your tickets for an up-close view with a field pass. For more information, visit reds.com/concerts. Well, the Reds got a run back, but they still trail 3-2 Royals. We saw Santi on warm. Maxwell was already loose. Maxwell's into the game coming off his best outing of the season.
Yeah, well, you got to keep this offense right here. Throw strikes. Give yourself a chance.
Top of the order, first pitch strike that's popped by Lane Thomas to short. And Thomas retired for a 4th time tonight. We saw Maxwell Friday. That was the opener against Atlanta. Now, the Reds were down a bunch. It was late in the game, but he went 2 scoreless. He threw 19 pitches, 16 strikes. It was as aggressive as we have seen Maxwell.
Strikes. Yep.
Bobby Witt Jr. walked his first time. He has since lined out, foul popped, and struck out. He's 0 for 3. Another yank wide by Maxwell. Cutter for a strike. Arguably the biggest outing for Maxwell as a Red came last year at San Diego when he followed Zach Littell against a talented Padre club. That was a game tied at 2 and he put a scoreless inning on the board. Reds would go on to post 2 runs 9th inning and win the game. Full count. Payoff. Walked it. Very much a stolen base threat. Witt snatched his team best 18th steal in the first inning. He's only been caught 3 times all year. If there's a situation that could call for a selective steal, it's right here.
Yep. And early.
Perez takes a strike. He's been on twice, base hit, a walk, has scored a run.
Little slide step by the big fella, Big Sugar. Quick to the plate on that one.
Down and away. Lucas Urseg is up in the Royals pen. Good stab by Stevenson. A pitch bounced in the dirt. Not only snared it, but then showed the ball to scurry Witt back.
Pick it clean.
Front door's a cutter for a strike.
That's such an important pitch for the big fella. Everything to Bobby Witt Jr. was out away from him. You can't just live out on the outside part of the plate. You have to be able to pitch on the inside part.
Perez guides this ball to left. Steer makes the call. The Red Star tonight secures the 2nd out of the inning. So Witt remains frozen at first, and we'll get a pinch hitter here as Carter Jensen will stand in for Starling Marte in the DH spot. Now this does have some impact because if this game goes to extras, he shares catching duties with Salvador Perez. That would limit the Royals' ability to run for Perez if Perez were a free runner in an inning or a situation where you have to send him as a necessary score. But the Royals do have the lead. I think it does make sense. Use your chips to try to add on.
Yes.
Jensen walked and scored yesterday, went 0 for 4. His last 30 games, he's hitting around 180. But it's a lefty-righty matchup. That's the odds that skipper Matt Quatrero is playing here. Well, more and more men in the lower bowl are matching the image you saw earlier. Shirts are flying. You can argue many should not. Tarps off Cincinnati is erupting. Reds will be in St. Louis, where the craze began this weekend. Helmet tap, ABS.
Pitch was called a strike. The hitter's challenging.
Is Maxwell ahead? Yes, just grazed the zone.
Kansas City has one challenge remaining.
Oh, just barely nicked it. Joel, you're gonna get in on. Oh, there goes the sweatshirt. Runner goes. Pitch missed down. Throw down. Good stab by McLean. Save. And that ball could have bounced into the outfield. The Reds consider a challenge. You can hear the crowd's opinion.
Well, this ball bounces up.
He's safe.
Yep.
Man, that's close. That is so close.
See how that ball takes a high bounce off that grass. Normally it's a little skip. That ball skips. McLean can keep that glove low to the ground and easily tag him out. The ball beat him. That high bounce caused Matt to bring that glove way up in the air. Got to bring it all the way back down to apply that tag.
Second swipe tonight for Witt. That gives him 19. At the day start, the Pirates' O'Neal Cruz had 19 for the third most in the majors. Only Jose Ramirez has more in the American League than Witt by 1. Check swing. Did he go? Yes! On appeal. Oh, the punch out from Maxwell. Showing the fire. A big scoreless inning from the Rook. Can the Reds rally? McLean will get it going. Myers and Blade with the Reds down 1. Cincinnati Reds baseball is presented by your Greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Jeep dealers. And by UC Health. Expect more at uchealth.com. Tarps off, the energy at its peak. Men of all ages are shirtless everywhere. Some major changes. Will Benson pinch hits. Nathaniel Lowe on deck to pinch hit. The fielding closer on the mound for the Royals, who's blown it a lot on the year and of late. Lucas Erceg misses. Ball 1 to Benson.
See Erceg, 16 opportunities, only converted 11.
Carlos Estevez is the usual closer for the Royals, but he took a comebacker off his foot game 2 of the year. X-rays were negative. He hasn't pitched since. Erceg, 5 blown saves, the most in the majors. Benson to right. Make it 6. The Reds have rallied to tie it at 3. A solo shot by Benson. The only Reds to reach have all left the yard, and they've drawn even. This is bananas. The only Reds to reach are all homers.
It's the way to make it happen right there. Will Benson's been coming off that bench with his opportunities and swinging early. Gets him a pitch he can handle. Knocks it out of the ballpark.
And now the calculus of Terry Francona. He wanted Benson as the equalizer. He wants the veteran Lowe as the winner. Fouls back, strike 1. Erceg has now blown 3 straight save tries. A half dozen on the year, the most in the majors. He's blown it in 4 of his last 5. Strike. I'm still just surprised Noah Cameron came out after 7.
Yep.
He was amazing.
Yep. You said it. Good look. We're looking at the bench and saying them possibly somebody get up in the bullpen. You going to take him out?
Foul tip, strike 3. Our Jake Sweeney Chevy pitch tracks on this tying shot.
The changeup up in the eyes of Will Benson. Ball on the outside part of the plate. He extends those big arms and hits it out to tie this ball game. Outstanding, Will.
Away to J.J. Bleday, who entered this game with an extra base hit in 4 straight games. 3 bombs, 2 doubles. He's 0 for 3 tonight. One and one. Could they do it? Could the Reds rally from a game they trailed 3-0 by putting 4 men on base, all home runs? They've already forged a tie in that fashion. Broken bat, flared to right. Caglione gets to it. 2 down. So now Sal Stewart, who has struck out, popped out, flied out. Brock Burke is up in the Reds bullpen. Almost got him, front door miss. Two and 0. Way wide. 3 balls and 1 strike. Urseg's maladies marred far more by walks than homers in a grossly disappointing start to his year. And he walks Sal Stewart. The winning run is on. Eugenio Suarez comes to the plate. First walk drawn by a Red tonight. Suarez is grounded out, struck out, flied out. Gino 1 for 3 against Urseg all time. Takes ball 1. He's gone down on first pitch twice. He was down 0-2 before he swung through strike 3 in the 5th. One and 1. No doubles at third. Sal Stewart co-leads the Reds with 10 steals, caught twice. A number matched by the injured Ellie De La Cruz. Two and 1. .30 times he's hit a go-ahead bomb 6th inning or later. He's been a master in that regard since breaking into the bigs a dozen years ago. In the dirt. If Urseg cannot retire Suarez, on deck is the man of the night. Spencer Steer gave the Reds their lone life until this final frame of regulation play. He was the only Red to reach when he homered in both the 5th and the 8th. (3-1). Suarez takes, he walks. Here comes Steer. A visit for Urseg. What are you thinking here?
Well, certainly trying to find out if Urseg is feeling okay about himself. I tell you who is feeling good about themselves is Spencer Steer. He hammers this ball to left field, and that was certainly impressive. But the second home run to right field, I thought, was just outstanding. Strom throws him a pitch from the left-hand side of the mound, and he drives this ball to right center field. Spencer Steer starts doing that consistently. The league better watch out.
John Schreiber, who had warmed innings earlier, he was the first Royals reliever to get up, is just now loosening for a second time tonight. That was a stall to give him time. Strike one. Two homers tonight. A base hit likely wins it. Stewart, the possible winning run off second base. Grounded foul, 0-2. Steer has one career 3-homer game. The contest we mentioned earlier, June 27th last year against the Padres. That night he homered in each of his first 3 ABs. Was retired in the 4th and final. Nick Martinez lost a no-hitter in the 9th inning that same game. 0-2. Up and in. It has been the year of Steer. He entered the night riding the longest on-base streak of his career, the longest active in the show. 1-2. Down and away.
That's a great take right there by Spence. Got to be feeling good about himself.
The Reds have lost 4 of 5. Their record whittled down to 1 above 500. Facing a lowly Royals team that entered the series on a 6-game slide with losses in 16 of 19. The Reds have rallied tonight from down 3-0 to forge a late tie on a trio of solo homers. Can Spencer Steer, who championed the start of the comeback, cap it? Swung through, strike 3. We'll have free baseball.
Well, it's been the solo home run. Not Spencer Steer this time, but off the bench, Will Benson getting it done.
The Reds' offense so far, 3 solo homers.
Really well done by Spencer Steer. The impressive home run to right field, and then Will Benson getting an opportunity to hit from Matt McLean. And he steps up and hits a home run as well.
3rd career pinch hit homer for Will Benson. Created the current tie. Many changes for the Reds. On the mound, Brock Burke has stood in. Vinny Pasquantino is 0 for 4. Bouncer foul. Royals had hit Carter Jensen for Starling Marte, so they downgrade that speed a bit with their free runner, because they wanted his left-handed swing. He struck out. Suarez backs up at third, grounded to first, where Lowe has taken over. Eyeballs third, takes the force. Arroyo has gone to short for the first time in the show. Stewart is now at second. Benson stays in the game at right. Dunn bumps from right to center. So the infield is now left to right. Suarez, Arroyo, Stewart, Lowe. Stevenson catching. Outfield left to right. Steer, Dunn, Benson. Infield in for Nick Lofton, who has singled, scored. He's 1 for 4. One of the greatest issues for the Royals in their horrendous start to the year. They have been dreadful with men in scoring position, both hitting and pitching defending. 1-1. They are near the bottom of the barrel in getting base hits with men at second and or third. They are near the bottom of the barrel allowing a lot of base hits with men at second and or third. Good smother by Stevenson. And if you combine those two gaps entering this series, only the Angels had a worse cumulative margin in failing offensively in the spot and failing with pitching in this spot. 3-1. Lofton leads the Royals with men in scoring position on the year. Swing and miss. Burke brings it full. Lofton entered the series hitting a team high 375 with men in scoring position. Ten strikeouts for the Red staff tonight. 11 means pizza for the T-shirt twirlers. Infield in. Jensen off third. 3-2. Ball 4.
That's the proper pitch with the infield in. In case he swings, you want the ball on the ground.
It's now Caglione, who's had a few productive ABs. The walk in the second, RBI comebacker that ricocheted off Abbott for a ground ball out in the fourth. When he struck out, he saw 9 pitches in the sixth. Went down looking, was hit by pitch and stole a bag in the eighth. That's when he got buzzed by Maul. Tony Santillan is up in the Reds' pen again. Schreiber, it looks like, is by now hot, pacing and watching in the Royals' pen. Strike one, helmet tap.
Pitch is called a strike. The hitter's challenging.
1 to lose this inning for the Royals. That is a strike.
Pitch is confirmed a strike.
Now remember the rules in extras. If you have 2 from the 9th, they carry over. And you keep having 2 until you burn 1. But if you use 1 in extras, you get another 1 the next inning. You can only have a maximum of 1 unless you had 2 coming in. So that means the Reds have even more wiggle room, because you can use them both, and if an 11th inning comes, you get another challenge. Same in the 12th and so on. Broken bat, little pop. Arroyo at short has it. I think he thought that was the end of the inning.
It's all right. Game speeds up here.
So now Kyle Isbell, who came on defensively last half inning, gets his first plate appearance. Isbell was 0 for 5 yesterday, bounced into a double play. Ticked foul, strike one. The Royals bench is the switch hitting Isaac Collins, who has struggled significantly. Nowhere near the stellar rookie he showed with the Brewers last year. And Michael Garcia, who has not played since he tweaked his right hamstring in very similar fashion to the Reds' Ellie De La Cruz on Saturday. They have not IL'd him, but he has not played since. Fouled away, 1-2. Schreiber is up on the mound again for the Royals. Can Burke keep this deadlocked? Two and two. The stands largely shirtless, united in yearning for two things. Not those gestures. Keeping the game tied, and pizza. A strikeout would provide both. Struck him out! They're louder now than on any of the homers. Last year, extra innings meant misery for the Reds. This year, they already have more extra inning wins than all of last season. And remember, they didn't play 4 or 5 extra inning games. They lost a ton last year. They really struggled to score. The Royals, they have known that misery this year. 4-11 in one-run games. That's the worst in the majors. A somewhat surprising move here, and I think it's because of a skill set. The Reds' free runner is Spencer Steer. Terry Francona elects to yank back catcher Tyler Stevenson to bring in one of the best bunt artists in the game. His production has plummeted. His playing time has plummeted. They need TJ Friedl to get him over. Wheel play is on. Bunt is popped foul.
Now, historically, what you want to do is you want to bunt this ball right at the third baseman. The Royals were very aggressive right there. You normally don't see this against a guy that can actually pull the bat back and swing. This is normally for a pitcher that you know 100% he's going to put the ball down on the plate. Obviously, pitchers aren't hitting anymore, so it's changed a little bit. But a guy that can handle the bat, when you're so aggressive defensively, he can just hit a ground ball through the infield and it's game over.
Corner shallow. Schreiber, the new man on the mound, backdoors a strike. 0-2.
And there you see it. TJ Friedl seeing how aggressive they are. If that ball's closer, he can take a swing and just hit that ball anywhere on the ground, and everybody's moving. So if it's not right at you, game over.
Upstairs miss. Schreiber was the first out of the Royals pen yesterday. Came in behind Avila. Faced the minimum in a scoreless 6th. 1-2. Foul back. Friedl has not only suffered through a trying year coming off a career campaign, but his last 15 games that spread all the way back to May the 4th, indicative of how rarely he's played, And he's 4 for 37 in that time. That's barely over 100. Bounced foul. Call me crazy, but if he feels it, I'm okay with, if he's already hitting, I'm okay with him bunting with 2 strikes.
Yeah, he's done that in the past. It's all about how he's seeing the ball out of the hands of the pitcher. Into this at bat, that runner at least has to be at third base.
Strikeout.
We climb the ladder with this heater right here. That's a tough pitch to pull.
So now Blake Dunn, who for the last week plus had assumed that leadoff role that Friedel once owned. But his production has dipped dramatically of late. He's 0 for 3 tonight, including a bunt ground out. On the homestand, he's 1 for 19, 7 strikeouts. He got bumped down from 1 in the order to 7. First time he's not been the leadoff man in 9 games.
I'm looking at the new hitting coach down there on the stairs.
This is called a strike. The hitter's challenging.
That is a strike.
Call is confirmed. It is a strike. Cincinnati has 1 challenge remaining.
Watching Ellie De La Cruz.
Watching the new hitting coach Ellie De La Cruz down there. He was just talking to Edwin Arroyo before he went up to hit.
One elevated. Chip shot, right field, base hit. Wave is on, scooping right, Caglione home. Steer scores. The Reds win. Blake Dunn delivers, tossing his helmet to the heavens. The Reds roar back from down 3-0. Sparked by Steer, ended by Steer. Dunn at 10, and the Reds have even the series.
Well, I tell you what, this team has shown this all year. The ability to continue to play the entirety of the game. The Rally Reds are back. This is a great win for them today. This was certainly needed.
The Reds' lone hit with a man in scoring position tonight. They hardly had any chances. That free runner comes home, courtesy of Blake Dunn.
Yeah, Blake Dunn, a little indecisive before this at bat, but committed up the middle, gets a breaking ball. Caglione makes a good throw to the dish, just a little bit up the line. Spencer Steer, what a day he had, scoring the winning run. A couple of bombs on the day, celebrating with Will Benson, who came off the bench to tie it up with the home run. And it always feels good to drive them in and win a ball game.
Oh, the Reds square the series at a game apiece. They're back to 2 over 500 at 31-29. The Royals fall for the 7th time in 8 games. Their 17th loss in 21 affairs. They're 23-38. A high fives, a welcome sight to see back for the Redlegs. Ellie De La Cruz gave some hitting advice there in the hole on the dugout steps. And the Reds, who got off to a great start in close contests on the year, have been far improved in extra innings. See success in both of those regards this Tuesday. The Red who connected on the winner, Blake Dunn, is downstairs with Jim Day.
John, thank you very much. Getting a head rub there from Luis May.
Yep.
Second walk-off you've had since coming back up. How'd this one feel?
This one was great. I mean, being able to get a win for the team is obviously the most important thing, and that was awesome.
Tell me about coming off the mat. You're down 3-0, seemingly nothing going on, and you got a bird's eye view of Spencer Steer kind of carrying you to this, and then Will Benson a huge one in the ninth.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in that position without those guys, so Spence being able to pick us up there with those 2 homers and Beeman coming off the bench, I mean, pinch hitting is one of the hardest things to do in the game, and the fact that he was able to come in right there, get a homer, that was huge. We needed that.
All right, take us through the situation. What pitch you looking for? Take us into the batter's box.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a base open there, 1 out. They're not just going to feed me something easy to hit, so I was just trying to get something up, something that I could get to the outfield. Was able to punch that sinker out there and be able to drive Steer in.
What's the celebration like? Can you take us into that celebration when you're out in the outfield and they're just basically beating you up?
Yeah, it's just a lot of yelling, a lot of jumping around, a lot of laughing, a lot of smiles. It's awesome.
How much did you guys need this one?
We needed it. I mean, it gives us a chance to be able to win the series tomorrow. So we got to go out there and play good tomorrow and hopefully win the series.
Congratulations on the W.
Thank you.
The guy they call Thor. Thor gets it done in the 10th, John.
Well, the mighty hammer certainly delivered for the Reds in that spot as the Reds taste success for the first time in a bit. Some good vibes for this Redlegs team, a picket fence of runs in the late stages.
You know, it was really nice to see Spencer Steer hit those couple of home runs, specifically the one to right field. I thought that was outstanding and a great sign to how he's swinging the bat right now. And you know, we've seen a lot of home runs to left field from Spencer Steer. The ball he's hit to right field, he just has done just that, hit the ball to right field. This ball was driven to right field. And then Will Benson coming off the bench. We've seen it the last few times that he's come off the bench being very aggressive early, swinging early in the count. He gets a pitch early in the count and hits a home run to tie it up. Outstanding. I thought Blake Dunn had been a little indecisive in his swings, not indecisive on that one. That was a great one as well. So a great win overall for the team.
A great Odin father would be proud. Post-game still to come. It's got some life tonight as the Reds rally and take down the Royals.